Good morning, everybody. I hope that you are all doing well. I have been out of commission, down for the count. So I apologize. Um, this is not what I want. Hold on. I'm looking for the video that I'm going to play. So part of I am in the middle of COVID and so sick. So I have been, I had about a week of like just out of it, not listening. I mean, maybe I listened to some videos, I don't remember them. And somebody left a message that I read yesterday, something about if I saw Chris Proudfoot, yeah, that's what I want. If I saw Chris Proudfoot in the courtroom, well, I was so sick. I was like, "What courtroom?" And so I thought, did they arrest them? It was so I've had about I've had about 24 hours trying to figure out what the hell you've all been talking about, and now I'm all caught up. I understand the Bullhorn Betty see restraining orders against the Katie, Chris, and the Katie's parents or Chris's parents, and I'm with you. So I'm all caught up. I've watched everybody's channels. Hold on. I am so sorry. You just don't understand how horrible this has been. For more than a week, unbelievable, like run over by a Mack truck. I mean, this got me so bad. And yes, I'm still just, the coughing is just crazy and I feel terrible. But other than I mean, this is the first time that I've really been sitting up in a week. So please bear with me. I know I've got a cough. I apologize about that. But also, I'm just blown away by this whole thing. I'm blown away. Blown away. Like it's in a way, it's like I've been in a coma for a week and I've been and now I wake up and I'm just in complete shock. I mean, in what world do you wake up and Stephen Crabtree has become the new target? It's craziness. Like, it's craziness. This psychological construct, bandwagoning, bandwagoning. It is so powerful in this case. But it was also incredibly powerful in the disappearance of Summer Wells, right? And I'm watching all this insanity on two double speed and going to hopping around to these different channels, trying to understand the dynamics and what everybody's saying and the facts, what actually happened versus people just discussing what happened. And I just keep getting propelled to this place. This is orchestrated. It can't not be orchestrated. It's so nuts. And it was the only other case this crazy was Summer Wells. Summer Wells' dynamic was exactly what's happening here with Sebastian. And I did watch all the videos, listen to the discussions about Summer. I didn't weigh in on the conversation, because I typically avoid the cases with children. I have specific reasons for that. So it's orchestrated, right? Like, you can, if you sit back and you're not on anybody's team, if you're not on anybody's team and you're just an observer, and you look at the pro Katie and Christopher group, and you look at the pro Seth group, look at it like what they're doing is that it's a sporting event, right? And that there's pep rallies, and there's cheerleaders, and there's coaches with strategy and next moves. They're doing this on purpose. Maybe I'm delusional because I'm very sick. Okay, I'll own that. I maybe this time next week I'm not even going to remember making this live. Maybe I'm not even going to remember making this live, but trying to watch all this and see all this, I'm at the point now. I think whoever took Summer Wells knows exactly where Sebastian is. And you go, oh my God, it's Wild Speculation Friday. She's on drugs. She's back with Wild Speculation Friday on drugs. This is going to be a shit show. No, it's not. It's not going to be that bad. But here's the reason that I say that whoever took Summer Wells knows where Sebastian is. Knows where Sebastian is because it's like the same playbook, right? And the games that are being played are exactly the same games. Do you remember when in the Summer Wells case, do you remember when they made that fake phone call and they were in so much distress because Summer's dad was getting arrested, but it was all a lie. Remember, it was a ruse. It wasn't true. Remember that? And how horrified normal people were. Like, we were horrified. We were like, what? This is the mom and dad of a missing baby. And they're like acting out like this major troll event, but it's their child. And all their other children have been taken by CPS. Why would they do a troll, like an active troll, like they're punking the true crime community? That's so inappropriate and bizarre, right? So bizarre. Well, we had Christopher Proudfoot. He got online, did a phone call, pretended to be somebody else, calling into Cluminati's channel. Cluminati knew that was Christopher Proudfoot. They were having fun with it. Christopher Proudfoot was having fun, like making fun of the subscribers in the true crime community. You remember that? So I don't think that, I think that Cluminati, I think I shouldn't say this because I don't know. What I thought at the time, this is only my own opinion. I thought that she thought that it was just fun, that she knew that it was Christopher Proudfoot, not that she was confused or thought that it was a real I think they were just doing like a little entertainment bit, correct? And it certainly was not even close to that crazy phone call with the Welleses. But it was highly inappropriate in terms of just the motivation of a parent. Look, if we don't even consider Christopher Proudfoot the parent, okay? Let me just ask you this. If your child has gone missing and your husband thinks it will be so much fun and so cute and funny to go live, go public, to punk the people that are talking ugly about him, would you be happy? Would you be accepting of that? Or would you ask your husband, have you lost your damn mind? Are you crazy? Why are you even going on these panels talking to these people? We have a missing child. The only people we need to be talking with right now is the damn police. Correct? So it's so bizarre. And both of those, Summerwells, Sebastian Rogers, both cases, you get these crazy, bizarre, totally unrealistic events. I'm going to tell you something. The parents of missing children, the parents of children that have died, the parents of kids who are sick with disease, they do not have the motivation to even get a shower, much less to go online and play around with their friends on a public platform. Most of these parents can't put one foot in front of the other. Most of these parents can't get up in the morning and make a damn cup of coffee because their world has been blown into 10 million bits. It's true. So to hear this is, for me, I am experiencing so much cognitive dissonance because it's like, I know these parents. Like, I see the psychological meltdown, the destruction of their ability to just basic self-care because they're so overwhelmed with fear. They're so anxious because they've got this internal drive that is screaming, I've got to protect my child. I've got to save my child. I've got to help my child. Any of you ever had your little dog or cat go missing? That panic when you first realize they're gone? Okay, imagine that on steroids. When your child is gone, there is nothing that matters other than I must find them. And these jokers, Christopher Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, these jokers were getting drunk and going on panels, giggling and laughing till all hours of the night. Katie Proudfoot just giggled and laughed and thought it was just so funny about green tea. The little video clip with Sebastian holding up, green tea. She laughed and laughed and laughed and told that story like it was the greatest thing. And just at the end of the story, she was just like, oh, such a good memory. That's such a great memory. Your boy's been gone for 2 months and it's such a great memory. You literally do not tear up at all. My dad has been dead for 5 years. And yes, we talk about him. We tell stories about him. We laugh. He's a funny guy. He's a great guy. But I'm going to tell you, it comes at those happy memories are tough. Like tough. That's an old man, 5 years gone. But when your baby's gone, 3 months, you're yucking it up online with a bunch of strangers? What is that about? And the place that I got to, is you either know exactly where your child is, so there is not that internal drive to find them, or you're just a stone cold bitch. You're a psychopath. They're like Christopher Watts. You shove your 2 little girls down 9-inch hole into the most inhospitable environment on the planet, and then you go and work. And everybody at work says, no, he's no different. He's perfectly fine. That's a psychopath. So the behaviors for Sebastian's family and the behaviors for Summer Wells, they're exactly the same. And so I'm watching all this last night. And I'm thinking, they know each other. This is a game plan. This is a group of people who let me say it this way. If you're willing to traffic drugs, if you're willing to cook meth, or you're willing to go down to the border and pick up, a kilo of whatever, if you're willing to distribute that poison in your community to make money, if you're willing to traffic human beings for cash, if you're willing to commit fraud to get donations, a missing child is a that's a gift horse. That's money in the bank, baby. Money in the bank if you got a missing kid, right? Oh, absolutely backwoods. Absolutely. And so you think for them to orchestrate this kid going missing, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's gone. It doesn't necessarily mean that anybody hurt him at all, right? Our place in Kentucky, we were literally on the top of a mountain. Not kidding. I've got pictures and videos. Y'all saw the snowstorm and all that. It was pretty funny. But I could have had 15 kids up there. No one would ever know. No one would ever know. That the kids could be running around playing free. That no one would ever know. So some areas of the country, privacy is not hard to get. You can find it's pretty easy to find isolation, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that he was mistreated or that he was even hurt in any way. And then people say, that's such a crazy thought. That's such a wild thought that someone would intentionally make their child go missing so that they could, collect donations and make some cash. It's hard, especially in today's world. It's very difficult to put a sum of money together. Have you ever stopped to figure out how much money you have to save every month in order to save $100,000 in, let's even say, 10 years? It's a lot of damn money. You have to save something like in order to save the money, you've got to be able to put aside, let's make the math easy. You got to be able to put aside $2,000 a month in 1 year. That gives you $2,400. And so it's going to take you almost 5 years to put any appreciable sum of money together. It's very hard to save money. It's really hard to do. However, how many times have we seen these GoFundMe's balloon? I mean, a GoFundMe of 50K is easy. It's easy to get a GoFundMe of $50,000. But how many of these kids, how many of these injustices, how many of these strange occurrences that touch people's humanity, and they go, oh, hell no, we're not doing this. And then you see these GoFundMes blow up to $250,000, $300,000, $400,000, right? It's real. And I do think that fraud is becoming a bigger and bigger problem in the world of the internet, and that people are so giving, and we are very quick with our pocketbook to help others that are struggling, right? So if somebody's willing to drive down to the border and pick up a kilo of Maui Wowie or whatever, if they're willing to haul 50 or 60 people in the back in an 18-wheeler in human trafficking, if they're willing to steal, young women and sell them for sex, if they're willing to do these types of things for a couple $1,000s, why do you think there would be people that would go, yeah, I don't know if I want to pretend like my kid goes missing? I mean, we're not exactly talking about the parents of the year here on either side. You know what I mean? So it's just something to think about. And it's something to think about too, that Seth has managed to surround himself with a motley crew. So you've got Seth, who, look, he comes across as very sympathetic to me. He does strive. Listening to him talk, the appeals that he has made, I think this is a man authentically in grief. And I could be totally wrong. I totally own that. But you take the group of people that he's comfortable with, the group of people that he seems to feel comfortable with, they're all felons. Every one of them is. Look, I haven't made any secret about Tony Mathis. Sorry, but you are it. Well, Tony Mathis history for people in Texas. This is not a good guy. All right. Just going to leave it at that. I believe that Seth is innocent. I do not think Seth had anything to do with it, but I think that Tony Mathis is shady as hell. I think that there are others in that group that have a interesting history. And then on the other side, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Christopher Proudfoot's behavior is consistent with some of the worst domestic violence abusers I've ever seen. I'm not saying he is one. I'm not saying he does it, but he sure does give a good invitation of those that do. You know what I mean? So and come on, Christopher, just you always, your little speech you gave, oh, I'm brash and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, as well as I do, you came on the scene like Billy Badass. You were going to push everybody around and beat everybody down and make them do what you wanted them to do. And you were shocked, I think, for a little while that the YouTube creators didn't respond to your bullshit. And then you and Katie went on a rehabilitation tour. You sat back, you reevaluated like any good soldier, and you said, okay, well, this isn't going to work because these people are not impressed by me. So I need to take a different route. And, my KK always said, you can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. And you dumped a whole boatload of vinegar all over us, Christopher Proudfoot. It was laughable. Laughable. Now, if your fists are in reach, then you're probably not really experienced as a funny guy. But when you're on the internet 3 states away and you're talking all your bullshit about how you're going to hurt this person, going to hurt that person, you're calling one of the most respected people in the true crime community, you're calling her channel web sluts. You misogynistic pig. So all you did is just sit back and say, okay, well, I already tried one form of manipulation. I've tried the caveman approach, and that didn't work. So we've got to do something different. We've got to be everybody, oh, buddy, oh, pal. Ha, ha, ha. Look how friendly and reasonable I can be. Katie, they want to hear funny stories about Sebastian. So we're going to go on Queen Bee's channel, and I want you to tell funny stories about Sebastian. And they went on a tour of YouTube channels with the express goal of rehabilitating their reputations. True. And at the same time, that they were yucking it up with YouTube creators and making little friends, Tony Mathis comes on the scene and completely blows smoke up Seth Rogers' ass and says, you got to be a man. Don't let Christopher Proudfoot call you stupid. You got to stand up to him. You got to take control. You're the boss, man. You're the boss. I don't know how many times I heard Tony say, yeah, he's a boss. He's a boss. Shut up, Tony. Shut up. You're a disgusting human being. You're the worst thing that happened to Seth Rogers in terms of the support that he had for his missing son. So there's one group who, they seem to really care. They seem to not know what's going on. They seem to be in the dark, even though there's a bunch of felons associated with them. You got another group who is so manipulative. Come on. I know. I get it. I understand. People are like, oh, but the Proudfoots, they've got such a pretty house. It's such a pretty house. And they're both military. And they both have good jobs. I get it. I understand what you're saying. But, we all know there's some really bad stories out there. Christopher Watts, he had a good job. He lived in a pretty house. And he shoved his 3-year-old baby down the pipe into an oil tank. A 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. Pretty houses don't have anything to do with somebody's integrity and their morality. Even within my own family, boy, there's two people in my family. They are terrible people. So you got to resist that urge to say, well, they're like me. Christopher and Katie, they're like me. I have a pretty house. They have a pretty house. My husband's handsome. Christopher's handsome. My wife is beautiful. Katie is beautiful. I'm ex-military. They're ex-military. That doesn't mean there's not monsters there. I promise you, nowhere in any instruments used to do a psychological evaluation, nowhere is there the question, do you have a big house? Nowhere. Are you pretty? It's not there. Do you live in, what neighborhood do you live in? It's not there. So I don't know what, here's the third point. I don't know where Sebastian is. I don't know if he's even hurt or who would have done that. Have zero, don't know. But there are some basic facts. Sorry, I thought my cough medicine was kicking in. Oh, God. There are some basic facts, okay? One, the basic fact is, by Katie Proudfoot's own admission, she's the last person that saw Sebastian. And as she described over and over and over again what happened, she only says, I don't know why he went through that door. I don't know what made him leave. I don't know what made him leave the door. She never put herself out onto the street. She never, in her mind, she never goes to, is he cold? Is he hungry? Maybe some kind person found him and is helping him and they don't know who he is. She never goes there. And parents of missing children always go there immediately. You want to know why? Because in their minds, they're searching for their child. You have got to be a dumb person to have a missing child walk out of a door, a runaway, and sit around and lament, why did my child walk out the door? Why did they do that? 3 weeks later, why did my child walk out the door? Why did they do that? You don't ever get past the door, Katie? Like, where is my child? Maybe someone picked him up. Maybe he tripped and fell in the woods. Where is he? Who could have him? What are all the places we have visited? What are the kinds of things that he enjoys? Someone has to have him. You never got there, Katie. Never. Never. You want to know why? Because he didn't go out the door. That's why. The cameras all over the neighborhood prove that. He didn't go out the front door. The cops know that as well. So that's a basic, indisputable fact. Katie never gets him past the door. Now, Chris does a little better. Chris at least gets Sebastian onto the front porch, doesn't he? He says he walked out the door and got on the front porch. And then what, y'all? Put it in the chat. What happened then once Sebastian got on the front porch? Poof. Remember that? P-O-O-F. Poof. It's incredible. It's really incredible. So that is a basic fact. There's also another basic fact. Um, Christopher Proudfoot was so fast, so fast to tell the YouTube community, and Gray Hughes helped, that those were not flashlights. The night Sebastian went missing, and two people are running around with flashlights in between the houses in the backyard, they went to extraordinary lengths to convince us that they were garbage trucks. Garbage trucks. And thank God for the true crime community, because we had good people that took the time and had the skills and said, hold on a damn minute. It actually could not be trucks of any sort. So here's a question. Do you remember when they had what they thought was a sighting of Sebastian, like at that vacation place? I can't remember the name of it. What did Seth do? What did he do? He called, but after he called, he jumped in his car and he drove all the way up there. And people were like, you can't do anything. They're not going to let you see anything. It's a wasted trip. But did he care? Oh, I didn't realize. I haven't seen that, Cinnamon. um, but did he care? Or did he make the drive up there and talk to the people? Right? He did that. He made that drive. He talked to the people. Part of that is this, just being there where Sebastian might have been, just to feel yourself there where that child may have been. Correct? That's what you expect to see. This quick dismissal of what might be a possible explanation, that is unusual. That is not consistent with the parent of a missing child. They're hanging on to straws. These are people that believe that a butterfly landing on them is a sign from their missing child. These people are so hungry for information, they're willing to believe anything. And so to say, oh no, just wasn't him, it was garbage trucks. Garbage trucks don't run at 3:00 in the morning. Do y'all know that? But it would really make a lot of people furious to have the noise of the garbage truck waking you up at 2, 3, 4:00 in the morning. They don't run in the middle of the morning like that. Did y'all know that? So then, this is my final point. So then I was in the process trying to, catch up on all that I've missed in my week of coma. And I heard this. And I'm just shaking my head and I'm saying, this is insanity. Like, this is insanity. If you're willing to go out and put up flyers or traipse through the woods or fly drones or take your boat out checking sonar, scuba diving, if you're willing to do all of that in an effort to try to find a missing person, missing child, why in God's name would you do what you're about to hear? It's inconsistent with human nature. So I'm going to be quiet now and play this little clip here. Make sure y'all got it on your screen. And you do.
To be witnesses to all this. And mind you, all the stuff that's going on with all the drama, there's no way that if these witnesses exist, that they would not have came forward. You can't.
Okay, he's talking about something else. I gotta slow this down. I think she's got it really speeded up. Okay. That may sound better. Hold on.
Can't make me think that. I think it was just honestly made up. So again, we don't know. So
in this clip, right?
Like
what he's saying right there, he's talking about he's talking about the Kathy Proudfoot sighting that she was seen that early morning driving, and that apparently they have security camera footage of her driving like at 5 that morning or something. He's just saying the witnesses, the people that supposedly saw this, never came forward. He doesn't think it was real. And now they're about to start talking about what I really want to talk about.
Probably not, Caroline.
No, Michelle. How does this help find Sebastian?
It doesn't really. We're just all talking about general stuff.
But it truly can. You don't know that it can't by talking about who's involved, who's not involved, who might have something to do with it. You can't rule anybody out. There's nothing off the table. So yeah,
that is facts. I'll give you that. That is facts, because right now, why did Terry Lynn continue to say they think I have something? I mean, dude, I've been told I have something to do with it too, but I
want to say this, and I got to hop off here because I have to go deliver one of the puppies.
No.
First of all, this barbecue lady, do any of you guys know who that is? Was she connected at all to Summer Wells' case? Yes, Trishy, as much as y'all want them to be flashlights, they're not. Yeah, and parents of missing kids would be invested in those being flashlights, right? Because at least you would have information. Can't figure out who the heck barbecue lady is. Right, hot mess, equine. Well, yeah. So listen to what is about to happen. This is just nuts.
You're good.
So that's when Terry Lynn found the pants, Sebastian's pants. Because they were Sebastian's pants.
Is that legit?
They were Sebastian's pants. Terry Lynn.
What? What are you doing, barbecue lady? And Cluminati and Steven. What are y'all doing? Steven, I can't really say Steven because he was just sort of like me. He was just like, what? But you stop. Quit. This is intentional narrative construction. They're constructing, barbecue lady is constructing a false narrative. The cops have spoken on the supposed pants. They said they're too small. Okay, now listen to what she says about this. This is crazy. Just listen.
Sebastian's pants. Because they were Sebastian's pants.
Is that legit?
They were Sebastian's pants. Terry Lynn was at a location that she didn't want to tell anybody for 2 days. She was there the day before and she went back the next day. I hopped on that live a little bit late. Someone had said, oh my gosh, Terry Lynn just found a pair of pants, yada, yada, yada. And so, like, obviously I'm going to watch just like everybody else.
Jay, thank you.
By the time that I got on the live, she was waiting for these officers to show up. And like the one guy was like, I ain't crossing the river, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody finally did. And they were walking along and she kept saying, well, it's here. Maybe it's a little bit further. Her stream was fucked up. It was coming in and out of service. It was freezing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to rewind this a little bit. And so I rewound it back to the point where people
look at Cluminati. Girl, you are a trip, man. You are. Watch Cluminati as this narrative is being constructed, as Barbecue Lady tells a story. Terry Lynn is under the gun here. Okay, it's now it's time to completely discredit anything about Terry Lynn. She's a piece of shit. Okay, she's a drunk driver. She's trying to hit on Stephen Crabtree and have sex with him. I mean, you should hear the story. Like, they hate this girl. Okay, I don't know the woman. I don't like her or dislike her. And the truth is, if she's drinking and driving, she's a piece of shit. She should be arrested, have her license taken away. But my point is that for some reason they are really, really zeroing in on Terry Lynn to make her the content. So it's no longer about Sebastian. Terry Lynn is the content now, right? Now they'll make money off Terry Lynn by talking about her. All right. Now, this story about these pants, and they were Sebastian's pants, like said with so much authority, stated as a fact. First of all, the cops are not telling anybody anything. The cops' official statement was those pants are not related. Too small. They're not related. Okay, that's the official line from the cops. So this knowledgeable, they were definitely Sebastian's pants. The only people that could have said that to make Barbecue Lady so certain that she was stating a fact would be Seth or Katie and Chris. Right? Well, Cluminati hates Seth Rogers. She thinks he's like a bad human being, right? So she's not hanging out with him or talking to him. So it had to have come from Christopher and Katie Proudfoot, the people that were going live drunk a couple of weeks after Sebastian went missing, yucking it up, laughing it up, telling funny stories about green tea. The people that don't seem to give a shit that the kid's missing. So as Barbecue Lady is constructing the narrative, telling the story as if it is fact. I mean, she stated it like it's fact. Now she's telling the story of a live stream which kept cutting in and out because the signal was so poor. It was so bad. She's telling you what to believe. And Cluminati is grinning at the camera, kind of a slow wink at the camera, duper's delight to the max. Just keep your eye on her while Barbecue Lady is constructing this narrative, a false narrative. And the story is now Terry Lynn is a piece of shit. Let's make some money off of destroying Terry Lynn.
Was here, maybe it's a little bit further. Her stream was fucked up. It was coming in and out of service. It was freezing. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna rewind this a little bit. And so I rewound it.
Why is Cluminati?
People were telling me.
Look, did you see her wink? You heifer. Damn, girl. You gotta get better at this. Okay. You gotta do it on the down low. All right. She literally winks at the camera. This is so funny to me. Now, please don't think I'm saying that these people know where Sebastian is or that they took him. I don't think so. Not at all. They're creating content. They're just making up bullshit content. It's not real. But they're making money. And it gets all of us, the listeners, the subscribers, we all then start talking, and You repeat a lie often enough, it becomes believed to be fact. They're doing it on purpose. They know they're doing it. Watch Illuminati's face. Watch her. She knows damn well what's going down.
Screen was fucked up. It was coming in and out of service. It was freezing. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna rewind this a little bit. And so I rewound it back to the point where people were telling me, like, they were like, yeah, she found him by a tree. So I rewound it, and before she privated the live like she normally does, because she don't want anybody seeing her shit, she was walking around.
All right. I'll slow it down.
Exist? I don't think they do. I'm just being honest. These people were said to be witnesses to all this. And mind you, all the stuff that's going on with all the drama, there's no way that if these witnesses exist, that they would not have came forward. You can't make me think that. I think it was just honestly
all the way back at the beginning,
made up. So again, we don't know. So big Yeti.
Go, Michelle. How does this help find Sebastian?
It doesn't really. We're just all talking about general stuff.
But it truly can.
Just listen.
You don't know that it can't by talking about who's involved, who's not involved, who might have had something to do with it. You can't rule anybody out. There's nothing off the table. So yeah,
that is facts. I'll give you that. That is facts, because right now, why did Terry Lynn continue to say they think I have something? I mean, dude, I've been told I have something to do with it too, but I
want to say this, and I got to hop off here because I have to go deliver.
That's an interesting comment, Stephen.
One of the puppies.
No, you're good.
So back when Terry Lynn found the pants, Sebastian's pants, because they were Sebastian's pants.
Is that legit?
They were Sebastian's pants. Terry Lynn was at a location that she didn't want to tell anybody for 2 days. She was there the day before, and she went back the next day. I hopped on that live a little bit late. Someone had said,
bingo, crimes have consequences. What the actual hell? Why didn't they bag and tag them like they always do? Because they were, in fact, Sebastian's pants.
Okay. Still, Clementati, I don't understand what you mean by that. You say because they were his pants. Okay, they still have to bag and tag them. There has to be a chain of custody for evidence. And if you're trying to say they're not the pants that he wore the night he went missing, somebody planted the pants there, they're still going to keep it as evidence to use against someone else if Sebastian is ever found. What do you think they did? You think they went, oh, look at there, those little jokesters, they just went and got an old pair of Sebastian's pants and planted them out in the woods. Oh, ha, 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 ha. Aren't they a cute bunch of little YouTubers? Of course they didn't do that. And if what you guys are saying is the truth, if someone would get access to a pair of Sebastian's old pants and then plant them in the woods as quotation marks evidence, that is interfering with an investigation, Clue. They got to bag and tag them. Narrative construction.
Said, oh my gosh, Terry Lynn just found a pair of pants, yada, yada, yada. And so, like, obviously, I'm going to watch just like everybody else.
Jay, thank you.
By the time that I got on the live, she was waiting for these officers to show up. And, like, the one guy was like, I ain't crossing the river, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody finally did. They were walking along, and she kept saying, well, it's here. Maybe it's a little bit further. Her stream was fucked up. It was coming in and out of service. It was freezing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to rewind this a little bit.
Rainy.
And so I rewound it back to the point where people were telling me, like, they were like, yeah, she found him by a tree. So I rewound it. And before she privated the live, like she normally does, because she don't want anybody seeing her shit, she was walking around talking to herself, which I can kind of piece that together now of how, like, she kind of talks now, like actually meeting her and all that. But she's walking around, her phone's on the floor or on the pointed to the ground, and she's talking to herself, and she says, let me think. Okay. Now, this is just my perspective. What is she thinking about? That she was there the day before? That she's trying to remember where she put him?
My question is that Terry always has to think of, like, because you ever notice, like she says she talks in circles, right? And usually people that have a lie, they have to talk in circles. And what they're doing is trying to replay in their they have to talk in circles. And what they're doing is trying to replay in their head exactly what they have said or done, so that when they say it again, just what happened online last night, it doesn't get like, oh, well, I meant to say this, or I was just flustered, or, after all these people were after me. And then again, there's a lot of things that could be said here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was trying. I mean, I kind of get the general concept that he's addressing. And I think what he was wanting to say, it kind of was not, it was weird the way he was describing it, but I think what he was trying to say is this, that when people lie, when they're constructing a falsehood, the memory is like it's like a book. It's a chronological accounting of the event, right? When you have an episodic memory where an event has happened that you've experienced it, you store that information. It's a conceptual memory. And so you have direct, immediate access to every part of the memory. If you have constructed a story, then the story elements are dependent on what came before and what came after. So the chronology for a constructed story is very, very important to maintain the integrity of the story. But if it is an episodic memory, then it's a concept that is stored, and you have instant equal access to any element of the story. It's not dependent on the chronology of the event at all. And so you very often will see, for people that are lying, you will see them want to go back to the beginning of the story, or you'll hear them like coaching themselves. They'll say like, okay, so I went here, and then I did this, and then I did that. And yes, so I did do XYZ. But if you really lived it, if you really experienced it, then someone says, did you do XYZ? It pops in your head and you say, yes, I did XYZ. But if it's a lie, you're going to walk back and go, well, I went here and I went there and I went there, and then I did XYZ. Oh, yes, there's your answer. So I think that might be what he was referring to. But there's another element here with Terry Lynn. I don't know her. I only know her from the talks. She talks a lot. She does a lot of panels. She's all over the true crime discussion boards, right? I think some would say that she might have a drinking problem, even by her own words. There's stories. I mean, she herself said she carries some kind of alcohol in a little flask. She was too drunk to drive her own vehicle home. Cluminati was angry with Terry Lynn because she was driving drunk at some point. So if it, it's a really tragic and terrible disease. And I hope that that's not what she's experiencing. However, for people that drink quite a bit and have been for a long time, we do begin to see cognition fall to pieces, and they're brain damaged, and so sometimes you get disruption in memory because they never actually encode the information to begin with. They're intoxicated, they're not paying attention to details, and so the memory doesn't ever even get formed. But in other circumstances, the memory is just really disrupted by the disease process, and so they just don't remember anything. I don't think it's ominous at all that she's walking around in the woods going, okay, let me think. I mean, there's a million things she could have been thinking of. She could have been thinking, if I was a runaway kid, where would I hide? If I was a runaway kid right here, is there a cave nearby? Where might I be? Does there look to be a dangerous place here? He could have fallen. I don't know. There's a lot of different things that she could have said, let me think. But why would in a bigger discussion than any of this, you're looking for a missing kid. All you want is for this missing child to be found. Why would you put up false information? Period. No other discussion or thought. Why put out false, fake information? That's highly suspect, in my opinion. Now you're going to have how many people call in the tip line, call in the sheriff's department? Oh, they did find Sebastian's pants. They did find them. And the cops get sick of this. They're just like, Jesus Christ, how can we weed through all of the lies and all these insane people spreading stuff that has no basis in reality to see what's real? They were Sebastian's pants. They were. Oh my God, barbecue lady. You're taking your own time to go and look for this kid. That matters. That is substantial. That means something. But just because Chris or Katie or Seth says, yeah, those were Sebastian's pants, those used to be his, why don't you let that be between the parent and the cops? I'm going to tell you something straight up. If this is my kid gone missing, and then the cops come up and say, look, I got some really upsetting information. We do have a pair of pants. They're very small. I don't think there's any way that Sebastian could actually fit them now. But we did a DNA test and they are Sebastian's. We did get his DNA from the inside of them. Who could have gotten these pants? They would have to tie me down because I would be on the way to assassinate the other parent, right? Because I would be so absolutely knowing I didn't give them the damn pants, correct? So it's such a crazy story. Let me be clear about this too, because I don't think I was clear about this. I do not believe at all. Seth did not say those are Sebastian's pants. Christopher and Katie did not say those are Sebastian's pants. No one said that. The cops came out and said they were not the pants. They were not. Too small, unrelated. Okay? Period. That then leads us to the next step of, okay, so why is Barbecue Lady spreading the gossip that they indeed were Sebastian's pants? Why is she spreading this? Because it gives them content to go after Terry Lynn. It's a way to make money. It's a way to make content for people to come flocking to the channel and watch. And, oh, look at Terry Lynn. Oh, Terry did it. Terry's a bad person. The reality is it doesn't help, Barbecue Lady, to find Sebastian. Do you care? I mean, you seem like you care. You spend your time driving. You help people. You yourself said that I think you said that, well, maybe I'm wrong. Either you said that you drove Terry Lynn home because she was too drunk to drive, or she asked you to drive her home. And I don't remember which one it was. But you seem like you care. You seem like you're very involved and want to help out. But you know damn well the cops did not tell you that those were Sebastian's pants. And Katie and Chris didn't tell you that they were Sebastian's pants. No, they wouldn't do that. So why do it? One reason only. Targeting Terry Lynn. It keeps the coverage going. It keeps the clicks and views going. Exactly, Equine. You know, this is a really important this is a really important point for why some groups refuse to look for missing kids. Because the BS is too much. There's so much to be talked about in this case. There's so much to be discussed, and I really think we really need to resist the urge to interject what are just complete falsehoods. Gotta really, because the cops don't have that luxury. The cops don't have the luxury to say, oh, this isn't true. We're not going to investigate this. They can't do that. If it comes under their radar, they have to investigate. And then that just takes them away. And I don't want to preach because everybody knows. I mean, everybody knows this. It's just that it was so hard to hear it. Like, it was so hard to see it in action and watch it actually play out. It was so hard. So, all right. We have to listen to law enforcement about the evidence. Well, and look, I think without a doubt, I think in this very specific case with Sebastian, the law enforcement are playing this very tight, very controlled, very close to their chest. They're not putting any information out. And again, you had Christopher Proudfoot come out. Oh yeah, they're communicating with us. They talk to us all the time. They tell us anything we want to know. Says going, they're not telling anything. Who do you think's telling the truth? Well, let me say it this way. If they are telling Christopher Proudfoot everything, then Internal Affairs should get involved and investigate the police, because they shouldn't be telling the parents everything. That should not be happening. So, the masses must not understand that creators are partially based on views because the ads play within the videos, and that's how they determine monetary compensation every month. Absolutely. I mean, this, how do I say this? I think YouTube has done a really great thing, providing a platform for people to kind of embrace their artistic talents or their interests in certain topics. I mean, they've really provided an effective platform for creating community around ideas, right? I think that's really powerful. And I know quite a lot of people who are directly benefiting from it. For example, very old people, maybe their mate died many years ago, or they were divorced and then retired. And as they've gotten older and older, or they've gotten sick, they've gotten a disease, cancer or something, their life becomes more restricted to the home. Loneliness has been a terrible problem for this particular population of people. And when loneliness is a problem, then health fails, right? So figuring out how to increase exposure, interaction with other people is very important. YouTube has become one of the favorite tools being used for people that are locked in, stay at home for whatever reason, now able to make friends and have a peer group and have discussions about things that they find interesting in the world. And when we see that, then we begin to see indicators of health also begin to improve. So very interesting. So YouTube has done a really good thing, provided a really important service. Like anything good, it also has opportunity for exploitation. And unfortunately, a lot of people will go to extreme lengths to make money. They will. We have YouTubers, y'all, that have fallen off the sides of mountains trying to get the right shot. We have YouTubers that have remember the kid, remember the little boy that they put in the weather balloon or the hot air balloon? Remember that? Turned out all a hoax. The county spent thousands upon thousands of dollars tracking this balloon because they thought this little 3, 4, 5-year-old baby was in the balloon. And the whole time, mom and dad had stashed the kid in the room above the garage. Remember that? The lady that faked her abduction and even had the guy beat her up and brand her, and that was all BS. So people will go to extraordinary lengths to create content, to create a story or a narrative that they think they can sell for cash. They're sick. These people are not normal. Don't get me wrong. But certainly don't be surprised at what people are willing to do for $1. Don't be surprised. Don't. The amount of creators that are behaving like con artists and grifters makes me sad. The con artists, the grifters have always been there though, right? They just used to do like the shell trick on the streets, right? Or gambling. They've always been there. And now the internet is the new frontier for them. It's their new work environment. And unfortunately, a lot of people have, been scammed and exploited. Got to be careful. There is very little available on pants, just short for Terry. There is very little available on the pants, just short for Terry, or the video costs $24.99. There's also Nashville News Report on pants. Do you want links? The Nashville News Report, I would love those links. Cinnamon Hot Hot is in fact telling the truth. The video that has Terry finding the pants has been put behind a paywall, and you have to pay Terry Lynn $25 to see that video. I'm just curious what you guys think of that. Tell me what you think about the paywall. I mean, really, Terry Lynn, come on, girl. I'm not saying you're a bad person or a good person or anything in between. Not at all. I'm saying, What are you thinking? Like, why in the world would you take what could be, if the video is true, if it was innocent and you did stumble across these pants in the woods, why would you want to hide it behind a paywall? Why would you want to put it behind a paywall? Why wouldn't you just say this is the pants video and leave it available for everybody to see? Right? That's $24.99 too. That's pretty stiff. That's pretty pricey for a simple view. I won't even pay $25 for the new, brand new Deadpool movie coming out. I just wait for it to go to video. So while I try to get this video up for y'all, I want you to put in the chat, $25 paywall. One, if you think that's perfectly okay, a working girl's got to work, or two, pretty bad, pretty bad. I am so sorry to be gross, y'all. Okay, I've got it pulled up. Where is it? Nope. There it is. Found it. Thank you so much, Cinnamon Hot Hot. Okay, so here's one of the videos. Cinnamon Hot Hot got pulled these up for us, so please thank you, Cinnamon. Please thank her in the chat, and then let's listen and see what this is about.
There's somebody over there.
Does it look? Oh, it does.
Hey, Brandon. Stop the line. Stop the line!
Oh God.
That's just a big spot that's so soft.
I think the thing that's weird is there's not a lot of leaves over there.
Huh.
There's
Odd.
leaves on
And I
everything
mean,
else.
yeah,
Well,
this stuff is going to grow out of it a little bit, but
Yeah. But it would have been covered with leaves like everything else.
This is all covered up, and that would have direct spark out this.
It's like right.
What is that over there?
We're headed toward the
Is that
water.
the plant?
We're headed toward that way. The water, White House water.
what's your location?
I see it right here.
Okay, so that was not the pants, was it? Okay, let me go to the next link. Oh Lord, they got away. Oh, here it is. Nashville. Okay, I think this is the one I was looking for. There we go. Thank you, Cinnamon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
County teen Sebastian Rogers. Investigators found a pair of pants in the search area last night. After a close examination, they determined the pants are not Sebastian's.
The 15-year-old who has a form of autism hasn't been seen since February. Sebastian was at his mother and stepfather's house.
Notice she said the pants are not Sebastian. She didn't say the pants are too small. She said they're not. Listen.
Tonight, still no update in the search for missing Sumner County teen Sebastian Rogers. Investigators found a pair of pants in the search area last night. After a close examination, they determined the pants are not Sebastian's.
The 15-year-old who has a form of autism hasn't been seen since February. Sebastian was at his mother and stepfather's house when he disappeared. They told deputies they believe he just walked out in the middle of the night.
Last week, we spoke with Sebastian's father on the 2-month mark since his son had disappeared. He says he doesn't have any theories on what might have happened. All he wants is to see his son again.
I do know the last thing I told him was I love him. The last thing he said to me, begrudgingly, was he loved me. But that's a teenager, you know. But I want to tell him again.
Sebastian's father has hired 4 private investigators since his son's disappearance. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office tells us they'll follow up on every lead and tip until Sebastian's found.
All right. This is the newest
This family member,
drama.
you're gonna know what's
So the pants, Cinnamon, thank you so much for your help. I sure do appreciate it. It got darker while waiting for the police. Yeah. Okay, so this new thing is there are all kinds of cease and desist orders flying back and forth now between the two sides. The Seth Rogers, Tony Mathis, Bullhorn Betty against the Proudfoot Bowersox side. And so they're sending cease and desist back and forth and argue. Now they're going, they're taking it all legal now. Well, Nick the Hat, he's a guy that showed up, I don't know, several weeks, a couple months ago, began covering the Sebastian Rogers case. A lot of people were upset about it. A lot of people were just like, oh, he's a joker. He's just trying to get in on the cash cow, that kind of thing. But then on closer inspection, Nick the Hat is backed by a lot of cash. He's backed by a lot of a machine that has a lot of money, attorneys, PR people, real PR people, not Tony Mathis, but real PR people. And the guess, the speculation is that, of course, it's Dog the Bounty Hunter. However, Nick the Hat is associated with Sylvester Stallone, Selena. He lots of the rich and famous or sports figures. So he's a well-connected guy. He's also gotten himself into some hot water, gone to jail for a couple of years. But basically what Nick the Hat does is he goes and looks for dirt on people. And part of finding dirt on the rich and famous is pretending to be someone that you're not, right? To create fraud. And that's really what he went to jail for, is he got in trouble for some forgery type stuff. And so it's incredibly interesting. Now, there are some notable people in the Tennessee area with access to a lot of money that would be interested in true crime. Miley Cyrus is there, Ryan Upchurch. There's a lot in the area. Kid Rock has got interest in it. And with Nick the Hat, with his organization, his history, he's been connected to Miley Cyrus historically. So Dog the Bounty Hunter is a likely culprit, but I think Dog the Bounty Hunter is just part of the bigger group of people, right? I think it's a group that works together. So I think that is interesting too, that this story caught the attention of this very powerful group of people that definitely have the resources to do whatever they want to do. And I think that is fascinating, absolutely fascinating, that they are now active in this story. And I'm going to lay it out for you. Hung, this man you're looking at here, he traditionally or typically, he is the cameraman for Nick the Hat, but he's also an investigator, right? And he's pissed because the Proudfoots, they have now silenced Nick the Hat. He's gotten a restraining order against him. This is crazy crap, y'all. This is crazy. So now Hung is saying, okay, Nick can't talk anymore. I can for a while. And then when you guys come after me and silence me, I'm just going to hand the camera off to someone else. And you're not going to shut us up. You can't shut us up. There's too many of us, and we all know the law, and we got a little more money than God. So keep on doing what you're doing, because we ain't going away. And I think that they are the goal for Nick the Hat and the people that will now be presenting the information on the channel for Nick. I think their job, their role is to destabilize the comfort of these people. Seth, Tony, Katie, Christopher. I think they're here to upset people like Barbecue Lady, people like Terry Lynn. I think they're here to kind of like juke everybody in the butt and go, okay, which one of you did it? Because we know one of you did it. This is a sting. What's happened to Sebastian, this was orchestrated. So I find it very interesting. So if you have not watched Hung, you should. It's interesting. The whole dynamics here is really, really, really interesting. So here's the link to Nick, where Hong is now the one who is posting. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. All right. Oh, wait a minute. I think I gave you the wrong. I think this is Queen Bee's channel. Sorry. Wrong one. Hold on. I'll get the right one. This is it right here. Sorry about that. All right, so now you can catch up on Nick the Hat. So all in all, this is an absolute hot mess of BS. Who agrees? If you think it's a hot mess of BS, put a 1. If you think this seems all perfectly normal, put a 2. CP thought that he was the smartest man in the room. Oh, I think Christopher thought that he was the smartest man in all of Tennessee. He may still believe that. He's schmoozing. He showed up at a search and, tried to hug Terry Lynn and shake everybody's hand. And yeah, he's definitely still working on that reputation. Reminds me of the FBI bump in the Dan Markell case. It is exactly like the FBI bump in the Markell case. Thank you, Ginger Girl. Surely, absolutely. It is, and it is a beehive, isn't it? Like these people, these players, this is crazy. There's no There's no like, whose side are you on? I still continue to think, without a doubt, Seth is innocent. He did not do anything to his kid and has no idea where his child is. I believe that in my heart and soul. But for the life of me, I cannot figure out why in the hell he wants this motley crew around him. Why in the hell would he want them? Sincerely. There's plenty of good, decent people out there willing to help. But he ran them all off at what I think was at the orchestration of Tony Mathis. Oh yeah, and Christopher Proudfoot's behavior in the courtroom was really just silly. You know what your behavior said, Christopher Proudfoot? You sent the message that you are very comfortable in that courtroom. That was the message. And my question is, okay, is this guy feeling like this is his courtroom because you've been in it so much? Or because you and the judge have an understanding? Very interesting dilemma. But what is not in doubt is the fact that you walk in like, this is my room, this is my territory, and the reason I know is because I walked around here and pissed in every corner before anyone got here. And that is not normal, Christopher Proudfoot. Agreed, Donna Burns. Seth said that he would sit with the devil. It would help him find a son. Absolutely true, Ginger. Absolutely true. So where was Navarro? I believe Alyssa Navarro just surfaced in Montana. Was she with someone that she knows? Or was it a stranger abduction? My gut tells me that family is very well connected. My gut tells me that that is the home of the Proudfoot and Bower Sox, and don't you dare forget it. I grew up in one of those towns. Met an older man online and went with him. Petty Kitty, the Proud Feet said that they did not allow him to connect his video game system online, but Seth said that he did play online at his house. So he could have made friendships from Seth's house. Oh, we saw him, Donna. We know him. Am I right? You just got to sit and listen to one of these guys talk just one time, and then you hear them. They're the same guy over and over. Me either, Cinnamon. I wouldn't want to have coffee with any of them. That's exactly right. Oh my God, that's horrible, Cinnamon. I have a feeling we'll see some Rico stuff. Wouldn't that be interesting? Yeah, I mean, she can't, the Navarro girl, just because she says, I'm of age and I'm not missing, that doesn't stop the police from prosecuting the crime. I'm gonna have to look into the whole Navarro thing. Thank you for telling me. I wasn't aware, you know. Very interesting story. They're gonna have to be pretty bad to beat Canton. She was groomed. Yeah, absolutely, Petty Kitty. Yeah. The guy got the CP charges. So he got arrested. Makes me so nauseated. Good deal in the bushes. All right. Okay, you guys are awesome. Thank y'all so much for listening to me cough. I apologize. I actually my cough medicine kicked in. It's nice and quiet right now, but in about probably 30 minutes it's going to fire back up again. So we did get through this, right? So children as young as 3. It's terrible. Yeah, I thank you for the link, Cinnamon. Thank you, Petty Kitty. Appreciate you so much. And also, Hot Mess Equine, thank you for being a member. I appreciate you. It's very exciting. I'm not going to do Maddie Soto salty sweet tea for. Okay, how do I explain why I don't do those cases? I don't do those cases because they brush too closely to my real life job. So I don't do that. Stay away from them because I'm doing that work in real life. Warm pineapple juice with cinnamon might help. That sounds delicious, Ginger Girl. I'm so glad to always hear your perspective. Please get well soon. I heard quercetin helps. Well, I got to tell y'all, so this has been a nightmare. It started last Thursday. Wednesday, I didn't feel good. But Thursday, like I knew that my chest was like super tight, right? I wasn't coughing yet, but it was very tight. And I went ahead, I was able to work. But the whole day, like every hour, things just got worse and worse and worse. By the end of the day, I actually ended up canceling my last couple of appointments. And you have no idea how painful it was. Like the pain in my joints and the body aches, never have I experienced anything like that. Well, the closest that I have as a comparison was when a horse literally rolled over the top of me. I was on my horse. We were racing. Me and my friend were racing, and he stepped into some soft dirt, and I was like laid over like his neck. And so when he stepped in the dirt, I went over his right shoulder, and he just rolled right over the top of me. So that was awful. Like that, bad concussion in the hospital for a week or so. I was very sore. That's the only other time that I have like to wake up and think I literally cannot move my body. So that was the first thing, lasted about 3 days. horrible headache, you know, the whole thing. That was the beginning of it. And then as soon as the body aches and pains got like to normal levels, then just this terrible, awful coughing and congestion, just horrible congestion, like terrible vertigo because my sinuses were so congested. And today, this morning, is the first day that I'm definitely, I feel terrible. I'm still very sick, but I feel like aware of my surroundings. It's been tough, like really tough. So, yeah, I'm ready to say goodbye to this little adventure because this was awful. I had COVID like in 21 or something, and that was a pretty easy trip. That was not much to that at all. I played video games, you know. I mean, I was coughing. I didn't feel very good, but not this. Whatever this was, this is a whole new strain because this kicked my butt in a huge way. If HG contacts you, wish you guys would discuss BHP. Hope you feel better. Are you talking about HG Tutor? Is that who you mean, Jessica? Very true, Penny. The influenza A has been going around as well, but that's not what I have. I have the COVID. Yeah, I think that'd be interesting to talk to HD Tutor. Let me tell you why. Because I'm a skeptic. Because I listen to him and I think he is acting the role. And I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. For educational purposes, right? Like when you go through your PhD program, like your abnormal psych courses, you have to read like little stories, little vignettes of people and like symptoms or behaviors that they're demonstrating, and then you have to diagnose them, right? He's just kind of taken it to a whole new level, and it is acting out the personality disorder, or in this case, psychopathy, acting it out, right? This variant is bad. I'm an R&D worker at the hospital. Vitamin D3 with K2. Well, I will tell you something, Salty Sweet Tea. It kicked my behind. Truly. I cannot believe how painful it was for the first 3 days. Can't believe it. It was amazing. And then another one of my friends has just gotten it, and she's currently in that stage of, oh my God, you know, I just want to sit in a hot bathtub all day because my body hurts so much. Yeah, it's really bad. This better one about her. Let me see. Thank y'all for the well wishes. It has definitely been a difficult week. I'm I, for one, am really glad to see Friday finally arrive. Oh, is it? Okay. Thank you, Cinnamon. I'm definitely going to watch it. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, thank you for being here, Donna Burns. It's great to see you. Y'all, I'm so sorry to be gross. I've had it 4 times. This time it was bad. We're seeing drops in O2 again. I believe it, salty sweet tea. Because the first 3 days that that everything's so painful, I was down for the count. When the coughing, with the chest congestion was so bad, I'm going to spare you guys the gory details, okay? Trust me, you don't want to know. When it got so bad that 4th day, all I could hear, because all of our doctors, they say, don't lay down. If you've got COVID, do not lay in bed. If you have COVID, you need to be up on your feet, moving around. Do not lay down, right? And so had this terrible, awful cough, and a productive cough. I'll leave it at that. And just sat in the recliner. I just sat in the recliner, and I was just thinking, I've got to try and get as much of that out of my chest as I can. So hoping that will keep it from getting, any worse. All right, I'm going to end this live because the cough medicine is wearing off and I can't have it again for another couple hours. So it's going to get loud around my house. Thank you, MCAUS. You guys have a really wonderful day. Google says D3 and K2 together, definitely going to take it. One-man band with 8 horses can't get sick. No, you cannot get sick with that many animals dependent on you. It's tough because having 8 kittens to take care of, you can just put them in a box next to you as you lay in bed sick, right? 8 horses, that's a whole lot of work going on. So take good care of yourself, all right? All right, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. I really do appreciate it. We'll probably get some negative attention, but that's okay. It needs to be said, right? It really needs to be said that you really need to control yourself when you're making content. Be careful. Resist that urge to join the ranks of the fraudsters and grifters. All right? Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.